John List, the family man who vanished. A true crime documentary. In the quiet town of Westfield, New Jersey, a family lived in what seemed to be the perfect home. A devout father, a loving mother, 3 bright children, and a grandmother. But on November 9, 1971, that illusion shattered. Inside the grand 19-room mansion, police discovered a scene so chilling that it would haunt investigators for decades. The father, John List, had vanished, but not before meticulously executing a crime so calculated, so cold, that it became one of America's most infamous murder cases. Uncover the darkest crimes, shocking mysteries, and real-life investigations. Welcome to Fame Files, where truth is more terrifying than fiction. Fame Files cover all the true crime stories of the whole world with you on this channel. Stay connected with us and keep watching daily true crime stories on Fame Files. Number 1. The perfect family man. John Emil List was, by all accounts, the embodiment of the American dream. Born in 1925 in Bay City, Michigan, he was raised in a strict Lutheran household. A devout Christian, he was taught the values of discipline, faith, and duty, principles that would later shape his darkest decisions. A World War II veteran, List built a respectable life, earning a degree in accounting and later becoming a successful businessman. He married Helen, a widow with a young daughter, and together they had 3 children, Patricia, John Jr., and Frederick. By the late 1960s, the Lists had moved into a grand Victorian mansion called Breeze Knoll in Westfield, New Jersey. To outsiders, they were the ideal suburban family. But behind closed doors, cracks were forming. Number 2. The financial ruin and religious guilt. Despite his disciplined nature, John struggled to keep a job. By 1971, he had lost his position at a Jersey City bank and was drowning in debt. Ashamed of his failure, he left home every morning, pretending to go to work when, in reality, he sat in a train station reading newspapers. His religious beliefs only deepened his despair. He feared that his family was straying from God. His wife, Helen, had stopped attending church, and his daughter, Patricia, showed interest in acting and the occult. To John, their souls were in jeopardy. He convinced himself that only one course of action could save them from eternal damnation. Number 3. The chilling execution. On the morning of November 9, 1971, John List carried out his plan. He shot his wife in the back of the head as she drank coffee in the kitchen. He then went upstairs and executed his 84-year-old mother, Alma, in her bedroom. When Patricia and Frederick returned home from school, he greeted them calmly before shooting them both. Hours later, his eldest son, John Jr., came home from soccer practice. Unlike the others, he fought back. Investigators later determined that List shot his son multiple times, as if in a fit of rage. After methodically cleaning the crime scene, he wrote letters to his pastor explaining that he had murdered his family to save their souls. He even canceled newspaper and milk deliveries to prevent suspicion. Then, he vanished. Number 4. The manhunt and disappearance. The crime wasn't discovered until nearly a month later, when neighbors grew suspicious of the darkened house. Police entered the home and uncovered the gruesome scene, the bodies laid out on sleeping bags, classical music playing on a loop. But John List was nowhere to be found. With no leads, investigators feared he had disappeared forever. Number 5. The breakthrough. America's Most Wanted. For 18 years, John List lived under a new identity, Robert Clark. He had settled in Denver, Colorado, remarried, and built a new life. But in 1989, his past caught up with him. A forensic sculptor created an aged bust of List, predicting what he would look like after nearly 2 decades. The model was featured on America's Most Wanted, and within days, a tip came in from a woman who recognized her neighbor, Robert Clark, as the fugitive. FBI agents arrested List at his workplace. When confronted, he denied everything, but fingerprints confirmed his identity. Number 6. The trial and chilling confession. At his trial in 1990, List showed no remorse. He claimed he killed his family out of love and financial desperation. The jury saw otherwise. He was convicted of 5 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to 5 consecutive life terms. In a rare prison interview, List coldly described his reasoning. "I finally decided the only way to keep them from being destitute was to kill them." John List spent the rest of his life in prison, dying in 2008 at the age of 82. No. 7. The legacy of a family annihilator. The case of John List remains one of the most chilling in American crime history. A man so devoted to his faith, yet capable of unimaginable horror. A murderer who evaded justice for nearly 2 decades. But in the end, the past caught up with him. And John List, the devout accountant who murdered his family, will forever be remembered as one of the most cold-blooded family annihilators in history. Justice may be delayed, but it is never denied. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more true crime and celebrity